This is Pioneer Public, a segment where we introduce the most interesting people on campus to their community. The Globe's Carly Bonk has this profile.
Hey Point Park, I'm Carly Bonk, co-features editor for The Globe, and this is Pioneer Public. I'm joined in studio by senior psychology major Alexandra Youssef. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem.
So, in addition to your psychology major, you have another passion, screenwriting, correct?
Yeah.
And you have a minor in that you're pursuing, right?
Mm-hmm. I was actually a screenwriting major first, but then I switched it over.
Okay. And you helped write a film already in your time here at Point Park. Dollface, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Dollface is a psychological science fiction short film that I wrote for Production 3, which is a class where all the cinema majors get to actually make a film. So it was a really cool experience, and it's basically about a girl who has a boyfriend who ends up, he makes like these very realistic robots, and he makes like these perfect women, so she becomes sort of jealous in a way, and she decides she wants to become one as well. So there's a lot of psychology behind it as well.
Interesting. That's a very unique topic. How did you come up with the idea for that?
Mostly I came up with the idea because I think society today, like when we look around, there's so much in terms of like getting plastic surgery and looking perfect, and what you see in the magazines, the expectations for women. So I think a lot of women today feel that pressure from people to be perfect and look perfect for their partners or for everyone in general. So that's kind of how I came up with it.
Interesting. And how has psychology changed your outlook on screenwriting? How has it influenced your work?
I think it really influenced my work in the sense that it's made it more character driven. Like, I think what's really important in stories and scripts in general, and what we need more in film, is things that really focus on the character, not just the action and the spectacle, but also the story and the real depth of the people, because I think that's what makes stories great. So just having that basis in psychology and understanding people really, I think it helps with film a lot.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say your favorite genre in film is?
I would say probably my favorite genre is psychological horror, and like psychological thrillers. I like stuff like David Lynch and David Fincher, all the Davids, and yeah, I really like those things where it's like it's grounded in psychology but not necessarily reality, because I think then you can explore so many fantastical ideas but also have that social aspect too.
Mm-hmm. And you started out as a screenwriting major. What influenced you to change to a psychology major?
I think mostly it was the fact that I had a few psychology classes, like basic ones, like Psych 101 and Theories of Personality, and I really loved the department and the teachers. Like, I realized that it's a more humanistic and phenomenological outlook on psychology, rather than like what you get at Pitt, where it's very human science and very focused on diagnoses and things like that. Instead, this program is focused on understanding people, and really it's a very humanistic point of view, and I liked that about the program. And so I really became interested in that, and I've always been interested in psychology, but this really made me want to switch.
Okay. And despite your busy schedule between screenwriting and psychology, you have a few other interests as well, correct? You model?
Yeah, I do it like in a freelance kind of way. I model I've modeled for a few professional photographers, but also I'm into cosplay. So for conventions and things like that, I've done some modeling.
Interesting. And you have an interest in anime cosplay. What are some of the characters that you've dressed up as?
I've done Ryuko from Kill la Kill. I've done some more comic book characters like X-23 from the X-Men series, and Lucy from Elf and Lead. You know, I like doing some of the more maybe lesser known characters sometimes, because like sometimes you get so busy with all the Harley Quinns and all the really popular ones, but yeah, I really enjoy it. It's a really fun thing to do, and like once you get involved with the community, it's really enjoyable to find like-minded people.
Mm-hmm. And one last question for you. Would you say that your interest in cosplay and anime has kind of shaped some ideas that you've come up with in your screenwriting?
Yeah, I think my interest in like anime and things like that in particular, I think the stories are so different in that kind of medium and they're very imaginative. So I think that when I watch things like anime, it really gets my ideas going. So it does sometimes influence that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
It's interesting to shed light on psychology. It's something so different from screenwriting, but you've made the connection between the two.
Yeah.
And as a senior, best of luck with the rest of your semester
Thank
and
you.
the rest of your time here at Point Park.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. For more Pioneer Public profiles, check out our website at ppuglobe.com. Thank you.
Connect with the Globe on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at PPU Globe, and always online at ppuglobe.com.